work. It's a Friday, late afternoon, almost evening. But I felt like going for a ride, so I want to do a little bit of ride. Why don't you join me? I might head to the beach, might head to West Hollywood, not too sure. But let's do a little ride and see where the late afternoon, early evening takes us. And then later, maybe a little bit later, I want to do a little, give a little boot advice for those people who might be having some issues with their boots. But anyway, let's go for a ride. My GoPro, for some reason, keeps telling me its battery's low. So I'm hoping I changed the battery. So hopefully that fixes it. All right, I was riding along, everything was cool, and then my GoPro here decided to turn off, said it was batteries low, even though the battery's at full power. But whatever, GoPro, always loving the pro, baby. Anyway, I changed the battery, so hopefully that solves the problem. So let's continue this ride. I think I might head to West Hollywood, maybe Beverly Hills, I'm not too sure. But let's see, I'm trying to avoid the rush hour traffic. It's Friday night, party night, so I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'll try. Anyway, let me turn this puppy around so you can enjoy the magic. All right, my friends, so yeah, we're on the ride. Yeah. So I was watching this other YouTuber the other day, and she also is a motorcyclist, and she lives in Milwaukee, and she was basically saying, I love Milwaukee, it's beautiful, this and that. But then she said, I better get home and wrap up this ride because it's going to be rush hour pretty soon. And I don't want to be stuck in rush hour. As you are watching me right now, riding down the highway, going down this beautiful street here, it is rush hour. It's 100% rush hour. You can't get any more rush hour. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. It's rush hour. And it's Friday night on top of that. So it's even more of a high traffic time of the day. But, I really wanted to get out for a ride. I was home and I was thinking, okay, what are the things? I was going to do some chores, do some laundry, this and that. And then I thought, what? It's Friday night. Let's get on the bike and ride. So that's what I did. All right, we're heading into, this is Century City, where all the cool rich people live. And there's also the Century City Mall over here. But we're headed to Santa Monica Boulevard. I'm going to try to stop by this store I need to check out. But hopefully traffic's not too bad, so we'll see how it goes. Century City also, a lot of, when Los Angeles has its marathons, as when people are running, a lot of times the marathons will end right here in Century City. So it's, you'll start the marathon somewhere in downtown LA, and usually they wrap up in Century City unless they're going to go all the way to the beach. So that's a little fun fact about Century City. Also, Century City, when I was a kid, my dad took me to, there used to be a movie theater there. There's still a movie theater, but they changed locations. But when I was a kid, they used to have a movie theater in one of the two towers, what we call the two towers, and they don't have the movie theater in there anymore. But whenever we went to the two towers to see a movie, I was a little kid, and I was always blown away how futuristic Century City looked, and especially the two towers. And my dad took me to see the movie Logan's Run at that theater. He took me to see a lot of movies there, but Logan Run is special because when I saw that movie, Logan's Run is is a movie based on the future. And my dad would always say, after we saw that movie, like in the future when we saw other movies, he would say, hey, you want to go to Century City, you know, the Logan Run City. And I said, yeah, let's go to Century City. So anyway, that's my little history on Century City. But right now, we're heading into Beverly Hills, my friends, with the Elite Meet and Greet. All right, so here at this light, waiting for all the cars to go by, you know, all the fancy cars. As I told you earlier, it's rush hour. You can see right here, look at all this traffic. LA traffic, my friends, you gotta love it. But you know, I was in Cebu, Philippines the other day, and not the other day, a couple weeks ago, and they had a lot of traffic too. But anyway, we are in Beverly Hills right now, and I'm looking for a little parking space. I lucked out that there's a parking space coming up right about now, and this is the little Beverly Hills Park that's in between the residential part of Beverly Hills and the more commercial part of Beverly Hills. All right, my friends, so traffic is a little heavy right now there on Santa Monica Boulevard. I was trying to go down the street here in Santa Monica, but to check out this store that I want to go to, but I don't know, traffic is brutal right now. But anyway, I'm in Beverly Hills, the mighty Beverly Hills, so I thought, you know, maybe I'll show you around a little bit and then see if I can continue my ride. But let's take a little tour here around Beverly Hills for a second. All right, my friends, we gotta love Beverly Hills, my friends. It's past 6 o'clock, so you don't have to pay for parking. Parking is free. The only thing is I don't know how long you can park. This is no parking I guess until 10 p.m. So anyway, since we're here in Beverly Hills, what the hell, let's walk around Beverly Hills. I probably will not make it to West Hollywood to go to that particular store I want to go to. There's something I want to maybe buy there, but maybe some other future vlog I can record that, or maybe I'll just go on my own. But anyway, let's check out the beautiful people here in Beverly Hills. I'm here at the Beverly Hills Park, so let me turn this around so you can see a little bit the magic if you don't live in Beverly Hills like me. I don't live in Beverly Hills. Even though I should, you know, I should, but I don't. Anyway, this is the mighty, some of the I guess the border of the residential part and the cool touristy walkie area. This is the park right here. So I don't know what this thing is. It's up here. Let's check it out. Erratic Roxy Pain. I have no clue what that is. But anyway, whatever it is, it's this thing. So, some modern contemporary art here in Beverly Hills. Anyway, let's walk where the action is, my friends. Where the action is. You know what I'm trying to tell you? I think you do. All right, so here we're coming on to Rodeo Drive, the famous Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, where the beautiful people live. So if you're rich, this is the place to come, my friends. Oh yeah. See, everybody's looking cool. Everyone looks badass here. They got these weird statues though. I don't quite get the statues, but anyway. Let's check it out. So over there is Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent. By the way, Yves Saint Laurent is the one that sells like a leather jacket for like I think $10,000. So if you think buying a Langlets or a shot P613S is out of your budget, try buying a YSL. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, we got a monkey here, or an ape, I guess. And it says Rodeo Drive. Not too many cars in Rodeo Drive. Usually there's like fancy cars, but I don't actually see too many cars. But anyway, there's a big ape. I was there recording the ape, and I didn't realize there was a line of people behind me who wanted to take a picture of that ape. Oh well, always selfish, Oz. You're always so damn selfish. All right, look at that. All the fancy stores. You know, I used to work at a hotel. And one time we had this very well. Oh, look, we got some girls doing some Instagram over here, doing some stuff for the gram. You know. They even got a doggy. How you doing? Anyway, as I was saying, I used to work at this hotel. That one of our guests was very wealthy, and he said he wanted to shop at Rodeo Drive, but he didn't want to hang out with the riffraff, the regular people. So he picked out the stores that he wanted to shop at, and he basically paid the whole staff. So, ooh, that accident there, or almost accident. He paid. He basically rented out the whole place, so he paid the staff and everything so they can close the store early, so there'll be no outside customers, and he could have the store all for himself. That's how rich he was. And he spent a lot of money too. Not only did he rent out the whole place, but he actually spent quite a bit of money. So he rented actually a couple places, so very wealthy. And there was a celebrity, you might know his name, called Prince, who also had a habit of doing that. So there you go. Anyway, here we got some Bulgari if you really want to spend money. Look at that, Bulgari. And Cartier, I think that's how you pronounce it, Cartier. That's actually kind of a cool looking building, that Bulgari building. I kind of dig it. All right, we have the Gucci building there, but it's kind of this. I don't know, they got some kind of construction blocking it, but let me show you. Right there, Gucci. Oh, you got Prada as well. We got another Instagram over here. You look great. Keep it going.
Oh my God.
Instagram, baby.
Oh, I like your dress. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from here. I just doing a little recording for my own little channel.
Oh my God.
I have a YouTube channel. Thank you. What, are you on Instagram?
Yes.
Well, what's your handle? But you might as well say it.
Okay. S-O-T-Cola. Cola.
Okay. And you just do like Instagram dancing and fashion and stuff like that?
Yes, that's more things.
Okay. Well, good luck. I'll connect you on my YouTube channel.
Okay, I love that actually.
All right. Well, you look great, by the way. Keep it going.
Too.
Thank
I
you.
like it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Fit.
Yes. Well, you can't go wrong with leather.
I know, classy Eastern European style.
Yes. You sound Russian. Are you Russian?
Belarus.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Vidanya. That's all I really know how to say.
That's enough. We have to say. That's Vidanya.
All right. Well, you look great. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
Bye-bye. There are a lot of Instagrammers here. She was pretty cute, I gotta say. You know. But anyway. Yeah, well, see, everybody loves the Shot P613S. But unfortunately, I don't have a Langlets. If I had a Langlets, I could probably take it to the next level. So we're coming up to the Wilshire, I think it's the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, where they filmed Pretty Woman. I'm sure many YouTubers have been here before, but anyway, I'll show you. All right, that's the Beverly Wilshire over there. We got Louis Vuitton over here. So yeah, all the rich people. And this is like, I don't know, some kind of a little famous walkway. So let's go check it out. Everyone's an Instagrammer here. Look at this, everybody's taking pictures. I like the music. It's very soothing. Makes me feel like I'm in Italy. Porsche design. There's another Instagrammer. Okay, this is the Beverly Wilshire. It's also a Four Seasons hotel, and this is where they filmed Pretty Woman, right there. They also got some more people down here. But yeah, Beverly Hills, man. Let's take a look at this little car I see here, or these two little cars, and see what that's about. They got these little cars here. It says, "Please do not touch." I don't even know what it is. B, M, B, and F. But there you go. It's probably something you can drive in Italy, I would imagine. And here's another one. Oh, it's a BMW. I don't know, maybe you drive it in Germany, the Deutschland. This is West Time. I think it's a watch place. You know, I knew a woman once who bought a Rolex. And I said, "How much did you pay for that Rolex?" And she goes, "Oh, it wasn't too expensive. It was only $10,000 for a watch." And I said, "Wow, that's a lot of money." She goes, "No, it's pretty cheap for a Rolex. It's actually a pretty lame Rolex because it's only $10,000. I don't know, some people have money to burn, my friends. They have money to burn. All right, let's see what else we can see here in Beverly Hills. There we go, a little sports car action. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Are you looking at that? You know, people who live in Beverly Hills, you can always kind of tell who they are because they look kind of disgusted when they see people like me or other people who are just kind of taking pictures and stuff. Because they're like, "You're lame. You don't live in Beverly Hills, you're lame." But oh well, what you gonna do when they come for you, my friends? Uh-oh, the police. Talk about look at that. Look at that. They already caught somebody. The Beverly Hills cops right there. All right, I see like this little Beverly Hills park. It's kind of like a mini park, but why don't we check it out since we're here in Beverly Hills, hanging out. By the way, today is May 1st. I'm gonna give you the date, just so you know. I'm trying to keep track of when I make these videos. So today is May 1st, 2026. And I'm in Beverly Hills, and I think it's around almost 7 o'clock at night. But anyway, here's the park. We're gonna be going right over there. A lot of traffic as always. Got everybody hanging out. Got a fancy, look at this lady. Oh, she's got a dent in her Toyota. Not exactly a Lamborghini, but you know, will do. Oh, there's your Uber. Look at fancy Uber right here. All right, there we go, Beverly Hills. Very cool. There's some people behind me. I don't want to ruin their shot, so let me get out of their way. But let me show you a little bit of the park here. All right, so let's maybe we can walk up here. All right, so this is like their little park. I don't know if that's a hotel up there or not. You know, I don't exactly have Beverly Hills money. It looks cool though, huh? Look at that. So I guess that's an expensive fancy restaurant. Got a lot of people eating outside. Everybody's hanging out. Lady's got her doggies. If you live in Beverly Hills and you can afford to live here, you're living luxury, my friends. Luxury. Somebody with money right here, my friends. Look at that, huh? I wonder if he's making payments. I wonder what his payments are on that beautiful car. Well, my friends, I gotta tell you, if you're living in Beverly Hills, you're living large, as they used to say back in the, what was it, the early 2000s? Yeah, it's really cool. You know, I almost got a job once with the city of Beverly Hills, if you can believe it. But they had an interview, which I unfortunately did not pass. Did not pass the interview. So, as Ringo Starr would say, I didn't pass the audition. Okay, I don't have a great English accent, but you know, you get the gist. Anyway, let me head back to the motorcycle. I'm really glad I came down here. It's been a lot of fun hanging out here with the rich people. Why don't you check out this cool ride? There you go, my friends. Now you're riding with style. We have that lady over there in her Mercedes, looking fine, ready for some wine. Okay, so I'm gonna before I leave Beverly Hills, I wanted to take a video/picture in front of the Beverly Hills sign. So it's right across the street here. You know, if you can see, everybody's already out there taking pictures before the sun completely goes down. And I think I'm going to take a little video/picture myself. All right, my friends, here I am, Beverly Hills. Let me show you. The Beverly Hills sign, I should say. All right, let me see if I can get. Sorry, just doing a video here. All right, my friends, it's been I'm very glad I came down here. I was gonna try to make it to that store, but this traffic is still brutal, and I can go to that store later. It's not a big deal. I don't even know if they're gonna have what I'm looking for. I'm going on a trip later in the year, and I'm looking for some specific outfits for the trip. And I thought this one particular store might have them, because they kind of deal with more specialty items, but I'll have to just do it some other time. But I'm going to try to do a video of that little store when I get a chance, but it's going to have to happen on the next video, I guess. But before I'm going to head home right now, but before this video wraps up, I am going to do a second part, a bonus part, if you will, a little bonus part at my place, because I want to talk about how to adjust your boots if they're pinching you. I'll go into it when I get home. But anyway, let's get back to the bike. And I think I'm crossing in not the safest area here. Well, not safe because there's gangsters and stuff, but safe because there's a lot of traffic. All right. Alrighty. I made it. Made it, my friends. Anyway, let me see if my bike's still here. But it's Beverly Hills, so more than likely it still is. All right, my friends. Beverly Hills, where the beautiful and the rich live. Unfortunately, I'm not beautiful, and I'm definitely not rich. So I don't live here. So let me get back to Gangster's Paradise, also known as my home. And then we'll do a little talking about boots. I will record a little bit of the ride back just so you can see a little bit more of Beverly Hills. You know, there is something magical about Beverly Hills. You know, every city has a rich part of town. Every city. So, you know, Miami might have like South Beach. Manila, Philippines has BGC. San Francisco, maybe Nob Hill would be considered a rich part of town. San Diego has La Jolla. But even here in Los Angeles, we have Brentwood, we have Malibu, we have San Marino. But none of them have that cachet that Beverly Hills does. Brentwood to some extent, but there's just something about Beverly Hills. If you live in Beverly Hills, people are like, whoa, you live in Beverly Hills. Wow, you're somebody. I knew a guy who had an apartment in West Los Angeles, but it bordered Beverly Hills. So basically, if you cross the street, you were in Beverly Hills, but his apartment was on the West Los Angeles side. But he would always tell everybody he lived Beverly Hills adjacent. All right, my friends, how you doing? We're back from the castle, back of the homestead. So the reason I brought you back here and didn't wrap up the video out there in Beverly Hills was that I wanted to talk a little bit, give you a little bit of a boot hack, I guess, if you want to call it that way. So in my last video, I was at the Renaissance Fair, and I was wearing these are my old Wescos here, my harness Wescos, so they're not the new ones. They're the exact same ones I wore at the Renaissance Fair. And, one thing I noticed is when I was at the fair, I was walking around a lot. You saw me at the parking lot trying to find my car and all that stuff. And I would spend the whole day walking around at the Renaissance Fair. And then a couple of days later, I put on these boots because I was going to go out to Walmart or someplace and I wanted to wear my boots. And then I felt like it was pinching back here a little bit, And I said, maybe when I was doing all that walking, it kind of readjusted the leather. Leather's skin. It's expanding and contracting and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm going to show you, if that's something that's happening to you, I'm going to show you how you can kind of fix that to make your boot comfortable again. Also, a viewer actually commented that she had boots that were on too tight. She got some Wescos, but they were stock and too tight. So I'm going to show you a way that you can maybe loosen them up a bit and make them a little bit more comfortable. So let me take my jacket off, sit down, take the boots off, and I'm going to show you this little boot hack. So stick with me. All right, my friends. So what I want to show you here is, you see this? It's like a little pinch there. So when I'm walking, it kind of does this little pinch. So the other day, like I mentioned, I was going to Walmart. I put on my boots and I was walking, and I noticed that as I'm walking, this section here is pinching the back of my ankle. So when this happens, there's two ways. Maybe three ways of doing it. But I'm going to show you a couple of my boot hacks that has worked for me, okay? So the number one way to do this, and you have to kind of be in the zone, kind of relaxed, maybe, sort of like in a meditative state, if you know what I mean. Because, you need to just relax and enjoy the boot magic. If you do this, you're in a rush, you're not going to like it because it takes a while to do this, okay? So let me bring this camera down a little bit. Okay, so basically you put your hand inside the boot, and then you push on the leather, okay? You could also kind of pinch it this way, right? But you're basically trying to push the leather out. And as I mentioned, leather is skin, and just like your own skin, maybe it gets, it gets tight, maybe your muscles get tight, whatever, you go get a massage, and you're basically massaging the boot, right? I mean, of course, if you want to add a happy ending, that's your business, but I had to go there, I'm sorry. But anyway, you want to so you're going to be watching TV or watching a YouTube channel or something, and you're just going to keep pushing on this, and then eventually, and also occasionally, pinching. And as you do this, it's loosening up this piece of the leather. And if you do this, over and over again, eventually it's just going to remold. And then you can, wear it and it won't pinch you anymore. So I did that the other day. And when I was walking around today, you saw me walking around, I had no issues. It did not pinch me at all. So That's one way of dealing with this. But it is, you got to be in the zone. You got to be there, pushing on this thing, pushing on the leather, pushing and pinching the leather. So you might say, but Oz, I'm a busy person. I got a life. I'm Mr. Party Animal. I don't got time to be hanging around pushing on leather boots. Come on, who you think you're talking to? So maybe that's you. What you could do is buy one of these shoe trees. See, this is a shoe tree, okay? Or some people call it a shoe stretcher. Either way, this is what it is, right? So when you put it inside the shoe or the boot, as this part hits the heel, it spreads this part open, right? So it like does that, right? See? Yeah. Oh, well, you know what I'm trying to show you here, my friends. It spreads it open, okay? So this is a way you can do this little boot trick. I'm going to show you in a second. But if your boot is too tight around your foot, you would put this in all the way and leave it overnight or a couple weeks or whatever until you want to wear the boot again, and it will stretch out the boot, okay? Or the shoe, even if you just want this for your shoes, it'll stretch out the shoe. Now there's also, you can buy a boot stretcher for the shaft if you need to, but I never have that issue. My shafts always seem to be just fine. But if you have a tight shaft, you can get a stretcher for that as well. Or I don't know if they call it they still use the term shoe tree for the shaft, but either way, that's a way to stretch out the boots if need be. So how do you do this for the boot if you have this little pinch thing going on over here? Okay, so let me put this. Is this the right one? No, this is the wrong one. All right, actually, I had the right one all along. I did find the other one, right? So here we go. Here's two of them. But actually, I had the right one in my hand all the time. They just kind of look sort of the same, so it threw me off. But anyway, this is for the left foot and the right foot, okay? So my right boot is not really, it really wasn't pinching me. So I didn't do anything to the right boot. I just did it for the left boot, okay? So let me show you. I'm gonna put this inside here. All right, my boot's kind of sweaty after walking around and riding a motorcycle, but oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like if you push it in all the way, okay? So right now it's pushed in all the way. So this part here has been expanded, okay? This part here, expanded. So if your boot or shoe is too tight, get yourself a shoe tree and it'll loosen up this whole part here. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do a different trick. But let me show you what it looks like inside. So I got this little light here. All right, let me see if you can see. Can you see it? See it in there? So it's all the way in the back. Okay, so it's hitting the back here, right? Or here, all the way on the heel. Okay? But that is not our goal. Our goal is to deal with this little ankle part, right? So then you have to kind of pull it out a little bit. Okay? So now I pulled it out just a little bit. So can you see? Can you see? So now it's pushing on the ankle part. It's not pushing on the heel. And it's still enough of a stretch here that it's holding it, okay? So you see, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of, let me turn off this light for a second. You can see it's actually kind of bulging out now, okay? So it's not like all, like this one. Well, this, yeah. See, this one is a lot more, let me see if I can get him in the frame here. This was a lot more pinchier than this one. And the reason this one's not pinchier is because it's got the shoe tree in there, okay? So you leave that overnight, or actually, well, you want to leave it for as long as possible. Overnight would be like the shortest, but ideally you want to leave it for a week or whatever, until it really, so it can really, push the leather out. So that would be another way of dealing with the pinch on the ankle if that happens to be something that you are dealing with. Now I want to show you one other thing, so give me a second. Okay, so you might be saying, but Oz, I don't have a shoe tree, and I got a hot date tonight or tomorrow night, and I don't got time to order Amazon and get a shoe tree. What do you think? I got all day long to be hanging out and ordering shoe trees? I'm a busy person. Okay, so if you don't have the time, money, or you don't even want to buy a shoe tree, then you can get a can. This is a can of corn, okay? There's a can. And you're going to shove it in there, okay? So let me take this shoe tree out. Come on, get out. Okay. All right, let's put it over here. Okay, so you got the can, and you want to basically do the same thing, but since the can does not expand, you're just going to be focusing on sticking it right there on the ankle part. Okay, so you're kind of pushing it in, okay? So let me show you here. All right. Can you see that? See it? Do you see it in there? So now, if you can tell, once again, it's pushing out. Now you do have a little bit of a bulge here, but don't worry about that. When you start wearing that thing will go away. But the point is, this really is now pushing out the leather, right? So let me show you one more time. It's in there. Okay. So that's another way of doing it if you don't have a shoe tree. But you know, the best way is really just to do it with your hand and just sit there, get in the zone, and just push. That way you can really mold it and, you know, and just be one with the boot, as they say. So I wanted just to show you that little boot hack because the other day I noticed mine was pinching a bit, and I saw that comment from the viewer. So yeah, little boot information there. Hopefully it helps you out a bit if you're having a pinched boot or the boot's too tight or something like that. But these things, I would definitely say you should get one of these beautiful shoe trees. They're really good. Even I've used them for shoes, and not just boots, but for shoes and sneakers and a whole bunch of stuff. So, you know, check it out. All right, I was gonna add some more to this video, but it's already going on too long, and I don't want to have like an hour-long video here. So the next video that I'm going to be putting out is I'm hoping to go to the Blessing of the Bikes, which is a motorcycle event where you take your motorcycle and a priest comes out and blesses it so it doesn't get in an accident. So I'm hoping that's going to be in the next video. Well, we'll see if I can make it there. You know, yeah, I make plans and they always seem to be. They never seem to quite work out as planned, if you know what I mean. But in any case, until the next video, my friends, you know, you ride like the wind. Don't let that wind ride you. And I will see you on the next one.